The following may not be suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Developing now, several communities throughout the state are mourning. Dozens showing up for an emotional memorial in Orange County after a body believed to be a missing college student from South Florida is found. The search for Miya Marcano coming to a tragic end Saturday, wrapping up a week-long search.
Investigators found her in a wooded area near the Timber Scan on the Lake condominiums, close to 17 miles from Arden Villa Apartments where Marcano lived. Detectives were led to the area by cell phone data from Armando Caballero's phone. He's the sole suspect in her disappearance. Police say Caballero worked in maintenance at Marcano's complex and used a master key to get into her apartment before 5 o'clock Friday. Cell phone pings put him where deputies found what is believed to be her body around 8 o'clock that night. Police believe Caballero was trying to throw them off by his travels. He was found dead in an apartment complex in Seminole County where he used to work.
The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service is seeking the assistance of the public in locating Zaid Aladdin of Platinite Trace, Rochard Road, Pinal. Zaid, 26, was last seen on September 28, 2021, and was reported missing on October 3, 2021. Zaid is of East Indian descent, 5 feet 8 inches tall, and has a slim build. He is of brown complexion and wears his hair short. Anyone with information on the whereabouts of Zaid Aladdin is asked to call the Barrackpore police station at 654-0609 or 654-0610 or 555-999-911, 800 tips, or report via the TTPS app. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service is seeking the assistance of the public in locating 38-year-old Richie Silo Chan. Richie Silo Chan of Spencer Avenue, Rochard Douglas Road, Barrackpore, was last seen on September 29, 2021, and reported missing on October 3, 2021. Richie is of East Indian descent and approximately 5 feet 2 inches tall. He has a medium build, is brown in complexion with wavy shoulder-length hair. Richie was last seen wearing a pair of long black track pants with 3 white stripes, a short-sleeved T-shirt, and a pair of black rubber boots with red soles. Anyone with information on the whereabouts of Richie Silo Chan is asked to call the Barrackpore police station at 654-0609, 654-0610, or 555-999-911, 800 tips, or report via the TTPS app. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service is seeking the assistance of the public in locating 40-year-old Vijayan Tufani. Vijayan of Rochard Douglas Road, Barrackpore, was last seen on September 28, 2021, and was reported missing on October 3, 2021. Vijayan is of East Indian descent and approximately 6 feet 3 inches tall. He has a slim build, is light brown in complexion, with a cropped haircut and beard. Vijayan was last seen wearing a pair of long blue jeans with dark-colored T-shirt. Anyone with information on the whereabouts of Vijayan Tufani is asked to call the Barrackpore police station at 654-0609 or 654-0610 or 555-999-911, 800 tips, or report via the TTPS app. Laventille man charged with attempted murder. Daniel Trudge, 34, of Laventille Road, San Juan, was arrested last Thursday after investigations were conducted into a report of attempted murder. A police release said he was later charged with the following offenses by Corporal Camacho: attempted murder, possession of a firearm, possession of ammunition to endanger life, possession of a firearm to endanger life, and common assault. He was expected to appear at the Arima Magistrates Court yesterday. The release said on September 7, around 10:30 p.m., a 73-year-old resident of Diabadi was at home when two male relatives allegedly had an altercation. When he intervened in an attempt to quell the situation, one of the men allegedly pulled out a firearm and shot him approximately 3 times. The relative then fled the scene. Arima police responded and took the victim to the Arima Health Facility. He was treated for gunshot wounds to his left arm, right shoulder, and left leg. He was later transferred to the Eric Williams Medical Sciences Complex in stable condition. Investigations were coordinated by Superintendent Edwards and headed by Inspector Ward, Inspector Black, and Sergeant Hayes. It also included officers from the Arima Criminal Investigations Department, CID. Finance Minister praised teachers ahead of second planned blackout. While the education sector may have received the largest chunk of the fiscal pie during yesterday's 2021 to 2022 budget, Finance Minister Colm Ingbert had no specific focus on education in his 167-page fiscal presentation. However, the minister did thank teachers publicly for adapting to online learning. Imbert spoke of the development of a smart education system and the transformation of a digital economy, but there were no direct policies targeted specifically to education. Speaking to Guardian Media afterwards, Trinidad and Tobago Unified Teachers Association President Antonio Tica de Freitas said, "I would think if the state had a policy in place for addressing some of the issues that teachers have raised, today would have been an opportunity for expanding on such. I don't know. I prefer to comment when we have seen the actual PSIP and the various disbursements." The education sector received $6.886 billion, slightly more than the health sector, which received $6.395 billion. Asked whether she was disappointed, Tica de Freitas said, "I would not say that at all. It is obvious we have not had sight of the document, so I will say that I cannot make a comment until I have sight of the document." But while Imbert did not specify a rollout of educational policies, he did thank teachers for their commitment. The pandemic and the closure of physical schools have impacted our children's physical interactions, social development, and mental and emotional well-being. We wish to commend our teachers who have embraced the challenge to transition to new classroom methodologies, in particular online teaching. Many of our teachers serve the dual role of parent and educator, and online education is here to stay, Imbert said. Only last week, teachers embarked on a blackout day and boycotted online classes as they protested against what they called disrespect on the part of the Education Ministry and a host of other issues. Another blackout day is planned for today. Meanwhile, Imbert expressed hope that TNT will transition into a fully digital economy with a smart education system. Saying he wanted TNT to develop so that it becomes a producer of digital goods rather than a consumer, Imbert explained that the education system will be a catalyst for this. He announced a total removal of all duties and taxes on computers, computer parts, and other related electronics, adding that the government will also roll out a free national TNT Wi-Fi service in all schools, hospitals, and public spaces. Already, 6 ICT centers have been established, and Imbert said more will be coming in 2022. ICT access centers are already benefiting citizens in digitally underserved communities. In 2022, the number of ICT access centers will be increased from 6 to 50, Imbert said. He noted that digital skills training will be made available at all the ICT access centers. In the first phase, 10,000 people will get digital skills training, followed by another 2,000 under the Microsoft Philanthropic Group. He said the government plans to connect a further 25 underserved communities in 2022. We will continue this until TNT is connected fully digitally, he added. He explained that citizens will also be provided with the skills and techniques to use online technology safely and productively. At present, the rollout of TT's Wi-Fi is live at 10 transport hubs and 16 libraries. The initiative will continue in 2022, driven by the Telecommunications Services of Trinidad and Tobago, TSTT. This company, in collaboration with Internet Service Providers, ISPs, will roll out additional TT Wi-Fi sites at all transport hubs, all libraries, all schools, and at all health sites. He noted that free Wi-Fi will facilitate TNT's evolution into a smart society. We will partner with local developers to create apps to be provided free of charge to our citizens. This facility, in tandem with the free Wi-Fi service, will strengthen the security environment, allowing our citizens to go about their business safely and securely, he added. Dismal turnout and mixed emotions as classes resume. About 40% of vaccinated students turned up for school yesterday, with some students expressing dissatisfaction over the government's decision not to allow unvaccinated pupils at schools. So said the president of the National Council of Parents Teachers Association, NCPTA, Clarence Mendoza. Mendoza said in some schools the majority of students came out, but in others there was high absenteeism. Overall, he said 40% came out, but he expected a lower turnout today as students experienced sadness that many of their classmates were unable to come to school. Out of a student population of 90,000, over 28,275 are fully vaccinated, with 41,207 partially vaccinated. Yesterday, there were mixed reactions from both parents and students as secondary school students returned to school for the first time in 19 months. While some students admitted to experiencing feelings of trepidation and excitement, parents expressed confidence that their children will be safe once all protocols were upheld. At the Debe High School, Principal Romeo Guinness met some students at the entrance and checked their vaccination cards. All pupils were given temperature checks and were asked to wash their hands. They were then guided into the classrooms. Pupil Maria Prasad said while she was excited to return to school, she was skeptical about the COVID rules. Sita Gulsing, whose daughter Faith returned to the Barrackpore West Secondary School, said she was pleased schools were finally open. I have no problem with her going to school. I have confidence in the school system, and I have confidence that the protocols will be followed, she said. She added, everyone in my family is vaccinated. It is important for students to have physical school. Once they're getting their education, that's the important thing. However, her daughter Faith said she was not happy about returning to school as she preferred online classes. Over at the Pavarotti Girls Hindu College, the majority of pupils returned, but not all of them were happy. Student Anaya Haitul said she was told that if a vaccinated student fails to show up for school, they would be marked as absent. However, she said she was happy to see her friends. At the Naparima Girls High School, 80% of students returned to school. Students said they were happy to see their classmates. At the Pleasantville Secondary School, a team of staffers ensured all students were guided to their classrooms. Activist Umar Abdullah arrested during protest at the Ministry of Education. Head of First Wave Movement Umar Abdullah was arrested in front of the Ministry of Education on Monday as he tried to deliver a pre-action protocol letter on behalf of a group of parents protesting the return to school for vaccinated students only. Abdullah was taken away by 2 police officers after an argument with ministry officials. A group of about 20 parents accompanied him to the ministry on St. Vincent Street, Port of Spain, to protest what they call the segregation of their unvaccinated children from physical school. Students in Forms 4 to 6 were allowed to return to the classroom on Monday. Olive Garcia, a concerned aunt and guardian of her niece, Adriana Dunbar, a Form 4 Malabar secondary school student, said, "I came to find out from the ministry how my child is going to be taught." She said Dunbar had no classes on Monday morning and had not received any work for the day. "This is a critical time for her. She is in Form 4. Nothing is put in place for unvaccinated students. We have not received any work. What am I to do now? Am I to pay for her to go to school? Who will compensate me for that?" She said she came to the ministry to find out from the minister, Dr. Nyan Gatsby-Dolly, how her child will be taught. Another parent, Edward Moody, said it was unfair for children to be segregated from their friends. "This is apartheid now," he said angrily. "The science has come to a full stop. It is lies and deceit. When is she going to do her school-based assignments, SBAs? My child is in Form 5, a science student. My child said she is not going to be vaccinated. We as parents have a right to demand that no experimental drug be used on them. Our constitutional rights are being infringed." Moody chastised the police for their treatment of Abdullah. Today, a man walked into the government building. He was searched. He had a brown envelope in his hand, and police officers grabbed him like a dog and took him away. Another man was also taken away. When is this oppression going to stop? We have a right to come to any government office and ask, why are our children not being allowed in schools? Moody said he does not support the government making the vaccine mandatory for children under 12. "Those who are vaccinated, we have no problem with you. That is your choice. But we are not going to vaccinate our children to have them be treated like slaves. The vaccine is experimental. The whole world is scared." Dr. Rajiv Sriram, a doctor of clinical and public health, was also a part of Monday's protest. He said, "Under no circumstance will my children be vaccinated. They are 8 and 3 years old. The data for this vaccine's efficacy is extremely low. There is absolutely no pediatric COVID-19 emergency in children. There is an emergency in adults, and we can understand its use in adults, but there is no justification in children." He said the vaccine is not like other mandatory vaccines, such as those for measles and mumps. "It is very leaky and it does not stop transmission. What is the justification for vaccinating these children? Let the data mature for about 2 to 3 years. Let us make sure we have very robust safety testing before we take this to the kids."